what is common is not always right. And in this episode, I'm going to share some examples of how this is showing up in our culture and in our lives and the action steps you can begin to take to shift it. Hey ladies, it's Amanda. Welcome to the Feel Amazing Naked podcast. This is a show where we dig deep, get honest, and talk about all the unsexy steps it takes to meet your goals. Whether you want to get fit, eat healthier, make more money, start a business, or any other results you desire in your life. Most of all, this podcast is for women who are ready to feel amazing naked on the outside and the inside. So ladies, time to take it off. Hey ladies, does finding an entire 60 minutes in the morning to yourself feel basically impossible? Between late nights, early alarm clocks, maybe your kids waking up, a demanding career, your mind just racing like a ping pong machine, and everything in between, then I have something for you. I've created a morning routine guide, and not one that has you going through all of these steps. I've created a 10-minute morning routine practice that actually works. So you can download it for free at feelamazingnaked.com/morning. And when you grab it, you'll receive a step-by-step morning routine practice, a 2-minute morning visualization that will help you create exactly the day you want, and some daily journaling prompts to help you become aware of your thinking so that you can create more flow, more energy, more ease, and more calm. So again, head on over to feelamazingnaked.com/morning to grab your guide now. Welcome to the show, ladies. So grateful that you're joining me for an episode that I think is so important for us to recognize as women and as a culture, as we've seen so much change, really, to be quite frank, in the last few years as well. And so I think this episode will land on your hearts. It's really around this notion of what's common in our society, what's common around us, and why common does not necessarily mean right. So in this episode, I'm going to share about why things that feel common in our life aren't always right, and to give you some deep dive questions to ask yourself if you might be falling into the trap of subscribing to things that are common. So let me put this into context and just give you an example. When we were first married, we used credit cards all the time. And this is not a bash to credit cards. Depending on your own behaviors and self-assessment, you can totally decide if they're a fit for you. So we were going out and just using them and, whatever. We would pay payments sometimes. We would always pay a payment, but sometimes we would pay it off. Sometimes we wouldn't. And I found that Justin and I were having the conversations at home like, well, everybody has credit cards. Everybody has credit card debts. That's just the way that we live as a society. That's just how things happen. And if we look at the population, I think it's something like 90+% of people in the US have some sort of credit card balance. And so of course, then you can justify, well, look at that. Look at how many people, look at what percentage of the population actually has this as well. So this is an example of common does not mean right. Common does not necessarily even mean normal. And the word right, I just want to also say, is right is different for each of us. So you got to put your hat on and use the word right and common for what it feels like for you today. So that's what I really want to have discussions around today. And so I'm going to provide several examples that I think are things that we experience as commonplace in our society, and use this theme today to talk about why this could be problematic for us and why this might be putting unnecessary pressure on ourselves as well. Another just really simple example is back pain. Oh, my back. Oh, right. Oh, my back just hurts. Oh, I'm just getting old. It doesn't mean that you're supposed to have back pain. It is a signal that says something is not right. I'm not stretching enough. I'm not moving enough. I lifted too much weight. I'm sitting at my desk too long. It's literally a signal that says, nope, nope, nope. Body, listen to me. Again, while many people might have consistent back pain, it does not mean that it is right. Another thing that we experience is social media, checking it all the time. I mean, if you go to a restaurant nowadays, you could look around, a quick scan of the restaurant, and you will see that almost every table has many people, if not all the people, at least one person on their phone in the scroll hole, or in general, throughout the day, checking social media quite frequently. Again, just because that's common doesn't mean it's right. When it comes to moms and mom culture, we hear so much. Moms are burnt out. They're overwhelmed. They're exhausted. I mean, these are the people that I am supporting. These are my people. I love supporting these people because it is common for people to be stressed out, overwhelmed, and exhausted in motherhood. And it is not right. That's not what we're supposed to feel as women, as mothers, as people, as a human experience. And yet it's common. Oh, I'm just busy. It's just busy. We're all busy. It's just like, it's a season of life. We've accepted, like, this is common and I have to feel like shit. Another example, period symptoms. We might even be telling our children, yeah, periods suck. You're going to have horrible cramps. You're going to have da-da-da-da-da. You're going to have headaches. You're going to puke. It's going to be miserable. And quite frankly, actually, I don't know how many of you know this, is like, that's actually not right. If we have miserable, horrible, exhausting periods, it's a great indication that our body's like, yeah, something's off kilter here. Right? Same as gaining weight as we age. How many times have you engaged in a conversation or overheard a conversation of like, yeah, I'm just getting older, pounds are coming on. Ladies, that does not have to be your normal, and that is not right. When it comes to business, those of you that are entrepreneurs or stepping into that realm, posting on social media is very common, right? If you open up social media, you will see so many entrepreneurs, coaches, they're posting. That doesn't mean it's the right way to grow your business. It doesn't even mean that it's the most effective way to grow your business. There's many ways: relationship marketing, going to networking groups, hosting a podcast, hosting other live events. Again, what is common may not be right for you. Same thing when it comes to launches in business. In the entrepreneurial space, it's like, I'm in a launch. It's exhausted. Launches are just like, I can't take care of myself. I got to be at the bottom of my list. All the other things. Launch fatigue seems common, and yet it's not right. It's not right to abandon ourselves in sacrifice for the dollar and sacrifice to move our business along if we are not aligned to our priorities. I am sure that you can think of many other examples, and I hope after sharing those 8-ish examples, you can actually self-identify. Maybe there's some things that are common in your life, but may not be right. Giving your 10-year-old a cell phone and social media rights might be common. That may not be right for you, may not be right for your child. So why does this matter? Why am I choosing to record an episode today all about this? Because this is a call to action to question what you've accepted as common in your life and ask yourself, is common serving me? Or is it just easy? Is it the path of least resistance? So you know what? I'm going to fall in line. I'm going to have back pain. I'm going to have credit card debt. I'm going to check my social media all the time. I'm going to be burnt out, busy. I am going to accept all these period symptoms and just like, I'm gaining weight as I age and I just feel like shit. Or am I going to accept as an entrepreneur, like, yes, I have to post on social media all the time. I have to show up everywhere. I got to be on all the platforms. I have to be exhausted and burnt out. And I've just got to be in a chronic state of I'm not doing enough and overwhelmed. Do you see the difference? Is just because you hear it all around you, just because other women are subscribing to it, it does not have to be your reality. It does not have to be how you live day to day. So I'm just asking and inviting you to not fall into the trap. And how can you do that, right? How can you not fall into the trap when it seems like everybody else is doing it and you're hanging out in right field like, hey, I'm starting to see this. I'm starting to see that some of these things around here are common, but I don't really want to be a part of them. So here's a few tips. I'm going to give you 3-ish, maybe 4. Step number 1, I invite you to question your actions. Are you justifying your actions because other people are doing it, because it appears to be common? Are you at the party and you're like, well, everybody else is drinking, so I might as well too. And it doesn't feel right for you. Are you like Justin and I? Well, the whole world has credit card debt, so it's okay for us. Are you listening to your friends in a circle who are telling you that, no, like this is just what happens. You feel like junk, menopause hits, perimenopause hits, you hit the age of 30, everything starts to hurt. You can reject those common things because they may not be right for you. Step number 2 is listen to your body. It is telling you, it's communicating you. In fact, it's begging for you to listen and say, it is not common to sit all day just because the rest of the world is. The achiness, the energy, the chronic exhaustion, like it's your body saying, hey, do you see me? I am here and I am asking for something different. Are you going to decide to listen? Are you going to decide to break out of what's common and do the right thing for you? Our body is chronically sending us messages of sleep more, right? Are you somebody that's just barely getting 5 hours of sleep? And that's common, right? So you can do all the things and have that perfect facade on the outside, and yet your body is constantly saying, sleep, nap. You're doing too much, and you're just like shoving it down, shoving it down, shoving it down. Step number 3 is listen to your intuition. There are red flags that bubble up inside of us when we do things in our lives that may feel common and are not right for us. We've talked about so many times on this podcast setting boundaries. When everybody else is saying yes and you're like, no, this inside is saying no, and you say yes anyway, there is your red flag, right? Because it is common, it is not right for you, right? When every other parent is saying it's okay to go to this place without parental supervision, and in your parenting heart, you know that is not a best fit. Because it is common, it does not mean it is right for you. Because in business, everybody else is going to this networking group, that does not mean it is right for you. And I think it is so important that we begin to give all women permission and just say, like, I get you. You don't have to be burnt out and subscribe to the hustle culture. You don't have to do these things. And the more we teach each other this, and the more we start to communicate about this, the more this is like a ripple effect that frees us from this kind of rabbit hole that so many of us go down. And it also tells our kids, hey, just because it's common that all the other kids are doing something does not mean it is right for you. Don't get caught up in that belief. Imagine how powerful that can be. So my take-home message, right, coming back to always, is like, how does this apply to your life? What are the action steps that you can take to reevaluate? What things are you accepting to be common that don't feel right for you? And how can you begin to implement those tips and begin to shift it on your end as well? The Feel Amazing Naked podcast is growing, literally doubling downloads every single month. And it's humbling, but really it's all because of you. So I just want to say thank you for listening and continuing to listen. Help us grow by sharing the Feel Amazing Naked podcast on your social media platform. If you're listening to an episode, take a screenshot, share it in your story, on your social, tag me, leave a review if you feel so inclined, but please allow me to help more women by sharing the awesome content that I create. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me.